All right, folks. Travis with Horror Movies Uncut, Submissions and Slashers. Welcome to Grimmfest 2021 coverage, people. And I am very, very blessed and honored right now to be joined by Pierre and Max, the two gentlemen behind this very, very particular, I will have to say, witch film that is called Two Witches. So first and foremost, before I get into this is a spooky ass movie, man. It's creepy. It is just 100% creepy from start to finish. But the biggest thing that I want to find out from you guys is how excited are you that there's actually going to be people in a theater watching your movie? Because even though it's a crazy pandemic and stuff still going on, believe me, we got another COVID test in about a day that we have to do. How excited are you guys, though, that people actually get a chance to physically see your movie?
So excited. Just seeing your face, how you talk about it right now.
It's real.
This is
right.
Yeah, this is the reason why we make
Let's go. Exactly.
It's to have reaction from people. So we are super excited. Actually, we've been fine-tuning the sound mix no later than today.
Okay.
To make sure it sounds and it looks exactly like we want for the audience. I'm excited and a little anxious.
Yeah, yes. You have every single reason to be, for sure.
But because when we saw the venue at Grimmfest and where it's gonna be screened, we're like, fuck, that's really sorry. Shoot,
no, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine. You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
But we were like, this is really good. But then we really have to make sure it's properly, we give the proper material. But yeah, we're really excited because it's a very fast-paced movie where a lot of stuff are happening. So we're hoping to get reactions. So far, we've been really blessed with people like you, reaching out. And,
you guys are gonna get some reactions, man. That's you can't even. There's no deny. Max, from you though, I'm gonna ask you the same thing, but then also ask you to kind of talk to us about where the original concept ideas, what made you guys decide to make this movie. So first, or how excited are you that fans actually get to see the film, and then if you can kind of lead into how the film was made, and then Pierre, you can piggyback exactly off of what he's talking about, because I'm very curious to where this all came from, because I love witches. Witches is my jam. So when I knew that I was going to get a chance to see this film, I was just excited because let's just be honest, there's not a lot of great witch movies out there, and normally they're little kid, kind of oriented. You two do not have a little kid witch movie, so I'm curious to where this came from. So go ahead.
Well, we're super excited. I think I feel exactly the same way as Pierre. It's definitely a dream come true to be able to screen it in especially in such a beautiful venue.
Yeah, dude.
We're stoked. And as we were saying before, I think that you were asking me the idea. We're both where the idea came from, and we're both massive films fans and horror fans in particular. Pierre is such a geek in the genre as well. We're always talking about it, and we approach this as fans. We approach this as hey, we are producers, filmmakers. We have the skills to potentially do it, but originally we're just talking about it as fans, and we're let's just do something, let's
just do the witch movie that we would like to see.
There you go. Yes,
I've always been fascinated by witches. I think it's such a cool character because we were saying when we started making it, it's this character that can be convinced, a witch can be convinced to be able to cast spells, and that let alone is creepy. And so being being a horror fan, making a movie with this kind of character was it was something to bring back all the fear of as a child, but bring them into a much more adult universe, you know.
Truly.
And witches are everywhere, like in every culture in every country of the world. It's always like, oh, don't mess with this old lady.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah. That was my grandma. That was my grandma.
Yeah.
Hey, my family's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, so the hoodoo, that's my grandma now. So that was unfortunately my grandma's house that everybody, and I'm outside like, hey, it's good. We cook good, like it's good up in here, but
But don't mess.
But you don't mess with it. Like I didn't even mess with my grandma like that. You go in the room, she got a crystal over here. I'm like, I'm not even going in the room. I'm not even going in the room.
My grandma was like a Greek grandma, and from Greece, and
dude.
she was like spooky too. She was, so we would maybe I was a little afraid of her and maybe yet fascinated. I don't know. But I felt like it was a cool villain, definitely to pick for a first feature.
Right.
It turned out it was kind of like trendy too right now. So, and we wanted to use kind of like, fantasy world or like codes, but put them into a more reality and like kind of like be on the edge of like this thin line where it's like we don't want to fall too much into the fantasy and we acknowledge the witchcraft and the spells and the fantasy,
for sure,
but we still want to articulate them and make sure they're seen. So yeah, like what was I going to say?
And so I mean, and just to add something,
for sure.
like I think,
go for it.
Socially, like we felt this villain like anchors super well into our current reality, because as Pierre was just saying, who's a witch or who's not is about people's interpretations, right? Like somehow, we all know, like he says, witches are everywhere, and somehow they are. Like we live in Hollywood, so like,
they're all over the place out there.
Some crazy shit in the streets, right? And we all know this crazy lady. I was filming, like you remember, like one day I had one of my neighbors who was just talking to a wall for like 15 minutes. Like it was really, probably she was on drugs or something. But
and I mean, because clearly it's not Grubhub, because that just would be the worst fucking app you could ever use in the world if that was the case.
No, but from afar, it was kind of, we talked about it like, oh, this could be something that's in the movie. This is a great scene. This is creepy, like, so they're kind of everywhere. Like people were talking, about Karens, is Karen like, some kind of a lighter witch,
Yeah, and on the other side, there's a lot of people that call themselves witches, that call themselves good witches.
White witches.
I hope our movie doesn't offend them. We are obviously more interested in the darker side of things.
Well, I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things that, and of course, we're not spoiling anything because we want people to see this movie and get so much out of it. But usually when it comes to like a certain medium, whether it be a vampire, werewolf, or witches, like I think one of the most important things you can do as a filmmaker is actually bring the essence of what these characters know themselves to be. So I actually don't think a white witch would actually get offended by your movie, because they themselves also have to know that difference between the light and the dark. And I've been like, look, man, I've been in stores before looking for black magic books, and I've had girls be like, you need to get out of my store right now. And so it is real with them. You know what I mean? And so like, I don't like personally think they would get offended. I think they're just going to be fucking terrified on certain stuff. But I think what you will have a lot of witches, regardless of if they feel like they're good, bad, if they're gothic, hipster, whatever, because they're all over the place. I feel like they're going to see the essence that you guys created with, especially the duality of the two witches. And it allows them to really understand that you guys did your homework. You know what I mean? Because that's the biggest thing that I think people will have a problem with the film, is if they watch it and they're like, these motherfuckers don't know anything about witches whatsoever. But that is not your film. That is not your film. So I'm curious, like, you said you had you saw the woman talking to the wall, giving you ideas and stuff like that. But how much did you guys actually dig deep in it? And don't make me go pull out my Aleister Crowley book, because I got one in the backpack right now, bro. But I'm just very curious to like the research and the time that the two of you guys did, and anybody that you used as well, to really, really be able to hone in on who you wanted these characters to be.
Yeah, well, I will say right now, a lot of what happens in the movie is based on true events that I
Okay.
gathered. Yeah.
Okay.
That I obviously like
That's awesome, man.
amplified. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the opening scene at the restaurant is based on a true story.
Okay.
The Ouija board scene
Yeah,
is
yeah,
based on
yeah.
a true story. The thunder like scene where it's, you know, like when they're talking
Don't
when
give away
Rachel
too
and
much,
Mark-
man. Don't give away too
Yeah,
much.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
another, that's
yeah.
another scene based off of a true story.
That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So you know, we were interested in witchcraft, and I was like, for the last, I mean, I don't know, I would say the last few years, I was just like on the hunt, like gathering like any cool, it could be anything. It would be, you know, from around me, whether it would be someone saying, oh, this person said something weird, you know, I would just keep it in the back of my mind.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
process it and then
Yeah.
spit it in a different way. But I think maybe why it's accurate on witchcraft, on like the crazy bad effects of black magic, is because it's some things that I saw
Actually based in references on
based
something.
off people believing those
Yeah.
things, you know. And,
That's awesome, because it sounds like you guys just kind of have this smorgasbord where you have the atmosphere that you're in LA, your love for just witches in general, and then these true accounts that you know of. And seems like you just guys like just put that all together, and it kind of came out into this little work of art that you guys put in front of us. So Max,
And
like
I-
with, yeah, I was
I-
gonna say with
I
you,
think
but
I think we wanted to make also like a movie that's kind of course it's a horror movie. Of course,
Right.
it's a fantastic film. Like it brings a theme that's like
magic.
you know, magic and witches and black magic and all of that. But at the same time, I like when you say that we have this kind of little atmosphere in the movie, because we want it just to be like, what would it be real like to you know, be within a family or be within a situation where some people are seriously considering themselves for whatever reasons as a witch, as you know, somebody that could potentially like hurt you, that could, you know, get very jealous, that could get into your you know, your head, you know, so it was, I think we tried to put that in the movie, and to of course have these crazy moments and moments where the magic transpires and the horror transpires. But at the same time, I feel like we're trying to stay kind of close to some kind of reality.
Yeah, like
yeah, man.
Real.
Yep.
Yeah, envy.
Yep, big time. And like, and that's one of the, so the thing that I actually enjoyed about the movie too, because when I was watching it and I'm thinking about all these, you know, these visuals and how they're affecting me, and it reminded me of like the first time I saw Drag Me to Hell, because I was like,
awesome.
These, like Sam Raimi took what you knew as a gypsy and actually allowed it to flourish. And like, that's the thing that I really enjoy about Two Witches, is because like man, come on, Wizard of Oz, we can name so much stuff that has witches in there, right? But like I was saying earlier, it always seems to still kind of fall along some like Disney, you know, is she bad? Oh, but she ends up being, you know, okay at the end. The thing that I loved about your guys' film Two Witches is it's a no holds bar. Like, you have fucked up and you don't even know that you messed up. Okay. And primarily because like, I feel like I dated Rebecca in high school. Like that's like totally one of the little weird chicks that I dated in high school. And I'm not saying that I know she has some like crazy weird auntie somewhere, grandma somewhere, but I feel like she does. But working with the two of them, so like Danielle, Rebecca, like talk about real quick how it was working with them and how they were able to like immerse themselves in the role, because both the women were fantastic in this movie. Even Sarah, all the rest of the girl, they were all fantastic in the movie. So I'm curious to our mains and how they were able to submerge themselves in the role, and then what kind of things you, especially you, Pierre, that you were kind of giving them to keep them going to be able to get the satisfaction that you were looking for on camera.
Yeah, well, I think so. First, we're so grateful for our cast, especially Rebecca.
She's fantastic.
We started, okay, so we started the movie, like the first scene we started with her was actually like the sex scene, which was like, like not the easiest, not the easiest scene to start.
Tell you, I know that girl, man.
You know what? I knew she had completely understood exactly what it was about when I just told her, like, when she's scaring the guy, and I was just telling her, like, all right, I had the camera and it was supposed to be like the POV of the guy, and I was like, all right, now scare me with your face. I just told her that. Yeah. And she didn't thought twice. She was like, all right, I'll do it. And she gave me so much and like in a close up. And what's funny is that then we did like a screen grab, and then I think she was on set with somebody else, and she was with a friend, and she showed the screen grab and then someone said, oh, who did the makeup? Like, who did the prosthetic?
Wow.
But there was
nothing, man. Nothing.
So that when I saw this the very first day, like probably the first 2 hours, I was like, she knows exactly. Yeah. She had already done her homework. I guess she was already knew. And I think she was perfect because she would feel like she could feel really weak and very like introverted and kind of like weak, not powerful, but then a little weird, and I think she fed off of like her looks, but she usually has like she would tell me like she was tired of being always just like the kind of like fragile character. Yeah. This is how she was casted as, and so here she was like, I told her, I was like, no, you can pretend to be fragile, but then you can fuck shit up and
man.
And she roll with it. She picked it up like like, right.
That's awesome.
And for Danielle, actually, we had not casted the role of Danielle yet, and we were like trying. And she mentioned because Rebecca had shot with Danielle in the past, so then she mentioned, she was like, you know what? I think I got someone who would be perfect for
dude.
And then
all types of creepy, man. Like, I got a 13-year-old son. He walked in the room on the first time you see Danielle. He walked right back out like, nope, Dad, don't think so. That's great.
I think something that we're also super excited about is that we have, you mentioned it, we have so many great, women's talents in the movie. It's a girls' movie somehow.
It is, big time.
We're so grateful for not to take anything away from our amazing male cast also.
Yes, of course.
We're so grateful for this variety of female characters that we were able to put on the screen, because it's we love women. We are very, I mean, in different ways. Like we're also fascinated, I think, me and Pierre also by the women characters somehow.
And they're like the potential in horror films that I think are not completely like exploited,
True. And that's the thing that I think, like your feminist viewers and stuff like that, I think that's what they're gonna like, is the fact that you have strong female leads in the film. Like, this is not just an afterthought.
We didn't want to make them just like sexy and that's it. They
look like everyday women that you would see everywhere.
Exactly.
We wanted to make them real.
Exactly. That makes it scarier.
Yeah, exactly. The old witch could be someone you really, come across at a restaurant. Masha was not overly sexualized. Like, even the sex scene is not really that sexual. It's more
not at all.
It's not sexual at all.
Awkward, man.
You don't want to be involved in that.
No.
And it's just the way the way we interpreted the way I was.
I'm telling you, man. I know that girl. I know that woman, man. I know that woman, and I'm not gonna tell anybody on camera what these type of women do, but when I saw what she was doing in that movie, I was like, I know that girl. I got some of them war wounds somewhere. I was like, oh no. So, all right.
But
that's great. That's great.
So what else was I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was going to ask you guys after this is, like, what really would you like for people to take away from the film when they see it? Because I think that's, for a director, writer, producer, especially when we got that money rolling behind it, we want it to be something lasting that's gonna allow other people to see it, other people to see your vision and stuff like that. So what is like, and Max, I'll have you go ahead, start off with this one first. What's like one thing you would love to see people take away from Two Witches when they see it?
I was gonna say just a great time, just a great fun. You know, we hope they're gonna enjoy it. Obviously, I think it's a very interesting movie for Pierre to be also showcasing his vision as a horror director, because this is definitely like the first, but clearly not the last. And I hope that the audience will fuck with that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Mac. And what about you, Pierre?
I would say I would just like to, if when people talk about like what to watch at night, and if they're okay for like the Witches movie, if my movie comes up, I already did my job,
Facts. That's true. That's true.
I kept it, when I was doing it, I wanted it to be very moody, like to have like really like flamboyant colors, and to make it like kind of like really moody for any like, spooky season, it would be appropriate, so whenever, I would say like whenever like there's like a wish list of movies to watch on Halloween, if Two Witches could be among this list, it would already make my day,
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Look, man, I got a feeling that's gonna happen.
We're also like excited and terrified at the same time, because we're actually going to be showing it to a larger, like very few people, like almost nobody have seen it. Clearly.
Well, and you guys are going to be in Manchester, man. Like in England has witches everywhere out there, man.
I know.
So I mean, you guys are going to get a lot of legit feedback, I feel like, once the viewers get their hands on this movie. But I got a feeling they're going to be enjoying it from start to finish, man, because there's just enough in the film, not only to keep you entertained the entire time, but to make you kind of remember why we were all afraid of witches when we first heard about them and stuff like that, right? So I think that's one of the things that I think people will take from the film too. So, all right, fellas. Well, look, I'm not going to take too much more of your time here. So I really, really appreciate you guys coming through. I can't wait for people to see Two Witches. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking for more from you guys, definitely. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you very much.
Yep, for sure, for sure.